Hello, everyone, and welcome to Capture the Magic Vacations in Conversation. This week, we have some good friends joining us. We've seen them on the podcast before. We have Susan Waters and Jackie Freeman joining us tonight. Hi, guys. How are y'all?
Hey,
Great.
I'm doing good.
I know we're just kind of catching up some because we got to experience in the fall an amazing time at the Universal Orlando Resort, and we're finally getting around to being able to kind of chat and catch up about our time that we had together with the VIP experience at Universal Orlando Resort. But if you are interested in the topics we're talking about, be it the VIP tour or anything about Universal Orlando, we'd love to hear from you. So just jump in the comments here, and we can even feature your comments here in our conversation tonight. So how are you guys doing?
I wish I was going to Florida soon. It's a little wet and muddy up here still in Maine.
Yes, yeah, it's that springtime change. Yeah, we've had a couple chilly days here in North Carolina, and it's water park season in Florida. Everybody's at the water parks, and our local water park's not open yet. And I had the thought, it's like, oh, that'd be nice to have a Volcano Bay day in there. Jackie, how are things in your neck of the woods?
Not bad. A little chilly today, but yeah.
Awesome. Before we dig in too deep, we want to acknowledge that it is a very special day. It is May the 4th, and for all of our Star Wars fans, it is everybody's favorite day. So I know we've had a ton of fun memes and different posts and different announcements. I actually saw that May the 4th of 2021 is when they announced the official opening day for the Galactic Star Cruiser at Walt Disney World. And it's been fun the past year hearing about it and then finally seeing it open. Jackie, I know you've been really excited about some of these new Star Wars opportunities at the Walt Disney World Resort.
I am really excited about it. As soon as people were able to go into that thing, I was watching all of the people reviewing it and stuff. It looks awesome. It's like completely fully immersive and makes you think that you're, on a Star Cruiser. So I'm a huge Star Wars fan, and I can't wait to go.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be something unique for sure. And Susan, I know you were not quite so sure because it's a full role-playing experience. So don't know how that'll work for introverts.
I know. I wish I could be a mouse, hiding in the corner and watch it all, but I don't want to have to participate in all of it.
Yeah, from what I hear, there are some people who are going just to be flies on the walls, but they say truly to get the value out of the experience. Basically, it's like a cruise ship into space. So there's a whole embarkation process. It's all inclusive. All your meals and entertainment and everything is part of the experience on the Halcyon Galactic Star Cruiser. And it's true for people who love that LARPing or role playing or whatever, because you can bring your own characters and you get to meet with people on the ship. So it's definitely, I can see how the hesitation, the offerings in Galaxy's Edge may be a little better for the introverts, but it could be a fun thing for the family though. Let the family push the husband and kids into doing the stuff, and you be the one to take the pictures.
Yeah,
very good.
I'm all in. Me and my kids will be dressing up and everything when we go. I love it.
Yeah, no, that's what it's all about. Like people, I've heard stories and seen people bring their own backstories with them, and
that's cool.
It's
like play the character the entire time you're on. Yeah,
and the cast members, these are professional actors, and they have full improv experience. And they make it feel like you are truly on mission there, and they remember who you are because it's a very intimate experience. So it is definitely the ultimate experience for your Star Wars person, for sure. For sure. Good. But tonight, I think our focus is kind of moving up I-4 a little bit out of the Walt Disney World Resort and to Universal Orlando. This past fall, we had the opportunity to go and get to experience the resorts, which was my biggest takeaway from our days, as Universal invited us down to spend some time together exploring the resort. Universal Orlando is truly a resort. Jackie, I know you stayed at Cabana Bay while we were down there.
Yeah. It was my first time staying at Cabana Bay, and gosh, it was great. Like, it's so family friendly, and I mean, 2 pools, and one had the slide, and then the other one had the lazy river, and they played movies at the pools at night, and food court was awesome. They have a bowling alley, so I mean, it might be my go-to now, because I mean, with my 3 kids, we just love it.
Yeah, it seems to be the family favorite between the family suites and the offerings and the wave pool. And I love getting to walk through the resort and have access to Volcano Bay.
Yeah.
So I got Cabana Bay and Volcano Bay mixed up. And I think that's a huge perk, having probably what I'd say now is definitely the nicest and most relaxing water park experience in Orlando, with Volcano Bay right outside your doorstep. So that was pretty amazing. So for sure. Also, keep in mind, chat, if you're joining us tonight, go ahead, say hi in the chat. We'd love to see and at least say hi to you. Or if you have any questions as we dive into the VIP tour, we'd love to answer them as we dive in tonight. So I think probably the pinnacle of our Orlando experience, I think, was our VIP tour, which this was exclusive to the Capture the Magic agents, but is for our group that went, but actually something that anyone can experience. And I was shocked, especially in comparison to other theme parks, what a VIP experience was. Cost-wise, when I saw what a Universal one cost, I was like, this is in reach for almost everybody, and can be a great way to experience both parks in a day, especially if you have a limited amount of time. What are you guys, when you reflect back on our tour before we get into the nitty-gritties, what are kind of the big highlights that stuck out for you on the tour, or just the whole experience? Because it's not just a tour, it's all day concierge level event, basically.
I think the behind the scenes stuff was like the coolest part, because you never get to see that kind of stuff. So seeing behind the scenes of Spider-Man, and like getting a peek into one of the haunted houses for the Halloween event was pretty cool. And all of the questions, like, I could answer, or she could answer any question. Our tour guide was like amazing. So that was probably the best part of it, I think. Well, I guess skipping the lines was awesome too.
Yeah, I was really excited, because I was like, I know that you get backdoored, and you hear about, getting backdoored into attractions and things like that. But I was blown away how much I enjoyed having a tour guide, because I was like, we know this stuff. Like, we book clients at Universal all the time and have gone through the trainings, and we can name every resort category, all the rides. How do you ride the Hogwarts Express with the park-to-park ticket? And I was like, so why do we need a tour guide? They can just let us in. But really, I was blown away at just the knowledge and the little extra snippets that we'd have, and we could really dig into some really deep theme park nerd stuff, and that. So yeah, our tour guide was absolutely amazing for sure. Susan, what do you when you think back, what are kind of the big things that stuck out for you?
There's so much. It was such a great experience. We didn't do the private tour, even though ours ended up being just our group, but anybody can buy this VIP tour experience. And the difference with purchasing a private tour is that you get to pick which rides you want to go on, and kind of customize it to your group. I don't think you need to do that because we got to go on everything cool. Like, it was amazing how much we got done. And, breakfast and lunch buffet included. Jackie and I have special diets. They kind of took care of us on that and ended up with some snacks in our pockets for the rest of the day to take, some amazing brownies and cookies that they gave us that were gluten-free. So I was just amazed at how much we were able to do in such a short amount of time.
Yeah, it was almost, that was almost the one downside of it, is it was such a whirlwind experience where we were able to go from attraction to attraction to attraction. And I think if you are an attraction person and really want to experience everything the park has to offer, this is the way to do it, because you can buy express passes and different things, or stay at a Universal Premier Resort where you get the express pass. But with the VIP tour is the only way for certain rides, especially Hagrid's Motorbike Creature Adventure and the Velocicoaster, the two newest rides at Universal. There's not an express option for anything on that. So unless you are on a VIP tour, and us getting to go in the back door of Hagrid's, which normally can be a 2, 3, 4 hour wait. And we just walked on the ride, and that was, mind blowing, but it was almost crazy because we would go ride to ride to ride, because our tour guide has done this over and over again, and she knows the best way to experience the parks. And we kind of just said, hey, you lead the way. And she took over, and it was almost mind boggling how much we got to experience. For sure. You talked about the dining. Jackie, kind of take us through how the day started, because I thought it was kind of a nice touch, especially at Universal Orlando. The VIP tour actually has a exclusive dining room experience that you only get to have for VIP guests. And Susan touched on it with the features that it has. Kind of take us through like Cafe La Bamba and kind of its role in starting the tour and providing a great place for your lunch break as well.
Yeah, it was good. I think that they run it super efficiently. You check in, you go right to breakfast. Your tour guide comes over and introduces themselves while you're eating and asks what you want to see, which is great, because then they just take a minute to step away and kind of customize it. If you want to see all the Harry Potter stuff, you're probably getting to see all of the Harry Potter stuff. So I thought it was great that he...
Yeah. Oh no, did Jackie freeze? But
breakfast was great. We had, all the normal breakfast pastries and
yep.
eggs and potatoes and all of that. And then I thought lunch was even better. There was like prime rib, and it was delicious. So yeah, I think it's good. And since it's buffet, it's ready to go, and it doesn't take a lot of time on your tour to just go and eat and then get right back on the tour too. So I like that option.
Yeah, I think you're right. With the breakfast was definitely more, it wasn't full continental, but it was definitely light. But yeah, it's almost intentionally light, I think, because it made it to where it wasn't too heavy, because they know you're going to be going on roller coasters very shortly after. And the lunch, yes, was a perfect, because we were there in September. And guess what? September is still summer when it comes to Orlando. So definitely warm for sure. But but they were bringing us water bottles. They
the free water bottles were almost worth it there.
I mean, yeah. So we were living it up, with the different options, and there is a private bar in there as well, if that's something you're interested in, to where you can have some bar service as well. I do think the one difference between the public tour, where you're like combined with other groups, and the private is the private tours for dinner. You get to pick, lunch. It's lunch that you get to pick whatever restaurant you want to go to. You don't just have to be at Cafe La Bamba, but I appreciated it for kind of just the exclusive, experience of it all. Kind of that set apart right there in that we had our own private area to kind of break.
Yeah, VIPs.
Yeah. Yes. And we did. I do love having the lanyards they give you says I was going to wear mine just because
I should have done that. Yeah.
You feel so.
The next time we
like
went to the parks, I gave it to my son to wear. He felt so special. He's like,
I'm the
VIP.
Yeah. The tour goes until about 4:00, I think, roughly, or at least ours did. And then after it, for the rest of the day, that VIP lanyard also turns into an Express Pass Unlimited. So whatever rides we didn't do on the tour, which there wasn't very many, we had the opportunity to go and finish up on the tour. Jackie, did you do the Hulk at the end of the day? Were you? Oh, did Jackie freeze again? Our tour guide was very accommodating with some of us. Oh, Jackie's back. Were you part of the Hulk? Were you part of the Hulk tour? The group that went on the Hulk at the end of the tour?
I did, yeah.
Okay, I thought you were, but I was a little exhausted by that point. But I was like, let's do it. And the rest of the tour had ended. People left, and our VIP tour backdoored the ones of us who wanted to get on the Hulk, and we had one more nice backdoor experience, which that was.
At the end, I also used the lanyard for you get a merchandise discount too with that lanyard for the day.
Oh yeah.
I bought me souvenirs that day.
Yeah, and we had dinner plans. We've been trying to get we were all going to eat together as an agency, and we wanted to go to the Big Fire Grill in City Walk. And there were no reservations. We kept asking for reservations. Can you get her? We had a big party, and they were like, sorry, there's no reservations. Our tour guide made some phone calls throughout the day, and she worked. And she's like, we're going to get you in that restaurant. And sure enough, that evening for dinner, we were all able to have dinner together because she got us that hard to get reservation, which was just kind of the cream on top of a crazy fun day. Susan, what else kind of stuck out to you as part of the experience? What were the highlights for you in terms of the tour experience?
Actually, I was thinking about this earlier because I was going through my pictures. One of my favorite pictures was seeing Jackie when she entered the Wizarding World of Harry Potter.
Yes. No, it's definitely a Jackie. What had you been before?
Me? No.
What a way to!
And I'm a huge Potter fan, so it was like I had been waiting for like 10 years to go, and I was like, yes, this is exactly what I was picturing.
Yeah. No, it is definitely we've had it at the Wizarding World for 10 years, and that definitely is kind of the cream of the best part of the tour is getting to fully experience both Hogsmeade and Diagon Alley, and getting to do all the rides and experiences and stuff. So yeah, I can't imagine like that being your first time. The thing that I appreciated the most on the tour, because I'd been lucky in the past and had short waits on the original Forbidden Journey ride and things like that in the past. But for some reason, the Hogwarts Express for me always seemed to be the longest wait for whatever reason. But being backdoored into that, getting our own cabin and getting on the train quickly was kind of my Harry Potter highlight, was getting to experience all of that without any waiting was really, really fun. And it is immersive because I had forgot I had done the Hogwarts Express, but I had totally forgot that the way we were going, the train actually has some Dementors pop up, and that was kind of a fun moment for I don't know if Connie's watching, but I think she was taken back that I was like, oh, that kind of it got a little spooky for me. I was fully immersed. I was all in on all the Potter stuff. And,
yeah, that was great.
And once again, I think Hagrid's probably is the #1 storytelling coaster in Orlando. I know Epcot has a new storytelling coaster coming up, but we'll see. We'll see if Universal holds it down as being the better option for sure. So
everyone's always surprised because like Hagrid's is awesome. Like it's a great coaster, but I love Gringotts. Like I like it maybe just a little bit more, and I don't know why. I just it's so cool.
Yeah, and you forget that there are 3 big attractions in it, and I think by the time we did Hagrid's, Gringotts later in the day, and you forget at how impressive that is, even the queue and the whole experience.
It's like being on the movie set. Like the bank is really just impressive. Just walking on is so impressive. I think that's why I was like, wow, it's like being in the Wizarding World.
Yeah. And definitely, if you've ever had an opportunity to experiencing the Wizarding World, either the original Hogsmeade or the new Diagon Alley, we'd love to hear about your experience. So just jump down into the comments wherever you're watching. We'd love to hear about your experience. Or if you're planning and taking the family to experience Universal Orlando, definitely we'd love to help you experience that. Jackie, do most of your clients that go to Universal, have they been experiencing the Universal Harry Potter package where you get the breakfast at 3 Broomsticks and the breakfast at the Leaky Cauldron and all those different things?
You know what? I always offer that to Potter fans because it's a great deal to have, all those extras and the cool luggage tags and everything. So I've had a few that have done that and, wanted the whole Harry Potter experience. It's definitely something that if you're thinking about going and you're a Potterhead, definitely ask your travel agents, all of us, about that special package.
Yeah, if you're hearing us talk about the Harry Potter side of things and you want to experience that, definitely reach out to Susan or Jackie and they can give you all the details because it's a amazing value getting the 2 free breakfast, a free photo session at the photography studio there on Diagon Alley. So definitely is the ultimate Harry Potter experience. Even if you're not quite up for the VIP tour, it's kind of a definitely great way to experience Potter for sure. But there are other things in the tour. Susan, was other outside of the Wizarding World. I know we also got some special experiences. My favorite photo is actually of Jackie at Men in Black and the special it's behind the scenes experience that we got to go on the floor. There's a name for that. What did they tell us that we went down on the floor? I can't even remember what the name of the floor was, but it wasn't just being backdoored in the ride. It was like we were got to be a part of the ride basically. And that's the photo that I should have added to
I forget what it was called. It was like the central office of the MIB though. And it was super cool. And everybody online was looking down at us like, hey, how'd they get down there?
It's our VIP tour. So I think, so Susan was talking about the photo of Jackie entering the Wizarding World for the first time. I'm a 1964 World's Fair nerd, so I just love the Men in Black motif and everything that they have. It was kind of a lot of fun, blast from the past, because Universal does have other fun IPs that they have in both parks, but Harry Potter just does dominate it all. But there is other stuff to do as well.
I got to take a picture in front of the DeLorean from Back to the Future, and that was awesome too. Just saying, it's just sitting there, but it's cool.
Yeah, we definitely do. The Simpsons area is fun, but the 90s kid in me is like, wish I could have experienced the full Back to the Future ride, which is now the Simpsons ride. But there's still meet and greets with Doc Brown. The train from Back to the Future 3, the actual screen used train lives at Universal. So there's still some movie magic there, even outside of the Harry Potter world. So what other thinking back on the day, what else stuck out as the highlights from it for you guys?
Velocicoaster. Oh my gosh. That is
Really, though.
crazy.
That's maybe the
That
best roller
second
coaster I've ever
launch,
been on.
it was crazy, and it was so cute because Connie was sitting behind me, and I didn't know if she was gonna make it out. She was so funny. Oh my gosh, just that second launch, and then going up into the hi hat. It was amazing.
Yeah, no, definitely the Velocicoaster was a highlight for sure. Not and getting to bypass the line for that was fun, and I think the tour guide she did a brilliant job at kind of explaining what the experiences were going to be like, because we did have some people in our party who are not big coaster heads and not big roller coaster people, and so she kind of could explain and compare it, and she even knew, for those of us who were more Disney people, she could kind of reference, oh, it's between this ride and this ride, but a little bit faster, and has two, Rock and Roller Coaster at Hollywood Studios is just one launch, but this is two launches, and really set up the team and made everybody feel comfortable. But I think some people that were one and done with it. I think others we were big fans.
She said like, oh, you should try it because it's like one of the smoothest roller coasters you've ever been on, and she was right. I mean, 100%. Maybe all those launches and the drop was a little intense for some of us, but I mean, I'm glad she talked them into it to try it. So she really did do a good job of at every single ride explaining it, and I appreciated that, like, as a mom that has like special needs kids who, one of them is terrified of the unknown. So that would have been like, a VIP tour would have been great for him to, know what's coming up before it like freaks him out. So I love that she was like, okay, well, this is what this one's like, and if you want to try it, like, just go for it. And Velocicoaster though, for sure.
I loved having and thinking of Velocicoaster, you being such a experiential ride. And for me, the craziest part on the ride is actually at the end when you do a barrel roll over the lake and you just like hang there for a moment. But of course, you can't have any loose items on your person. And I think it was fabulous having our tour guide, because she took care of all the locker rentals and made sure that all of our stuff was put away and kind of managed and helped us remember where it was at. And that was so awesome that she, could take us right to the locker areas, get our stuff put away. She strategically positioned us to where we could, hit it going back out of the ride, and just little details like that you don't think of, that really cuts into your normal day of, finding lockers, putting your stuff in. And the way she just handled the whole day was just next level.
And the one person that we had, had a large backpack too, and would normally have to pay for it, but because we were on the VIP tour, that was included too, and she just scanned her lanyard, and we got one of the larger lockers that normally you have to pay for. So that was good, and it ran so efficiently, like things in lockers, things out of lockers, next ride. So I definitely appreciated her help with all that.
Yeah, it was definitely great. And for other experiences, not everybody later in the afternoon, not everybody in our party was quite ready to continue on some of the other big coasters over at Universal Studios, like the big Rip Ride Rocket roller coaster. There was only part of us that wanted to do that attraction, and she was able to kind of set up a nice break for those who needed a quick break, and then took the rest of us that wanted to experience it, and really kind of helped us have kind of the VIP experience, even with the part of the group who wasn't afraid of the bigger coasters, and really customized for the whole group for sure. So good. Other things, Susan, as you've looked through your pictures, what other kind of memories stuck out to you?
That's about it for the VIP tour. But other things that we did on the trip, I loved our hotel tour that we did because it was
Yes.
great to get to visit all of the different resorts. I hadn't been to the value resorts, the Surfside Inn and Dockside Inn and Suites, and that was amazing. I mean, those look really cool for somebody who's on a budget. They did a great job with those.
Yeah, I 100% agree. We started our day, our tour day, there at Dockside, and I was like, I really don't want to, go to a value resort. And I actually had friends in town who were staying there, and I was like, why are y'all staying at Dockside? Y'all should stay at one of the other Universal resorts. But they specifically picked Dockside because of the family suite. And so when I finally got to see it, when they were toured us through, I was like, this is perfect. And at the price point is unbeat because could sleep 6, I believe, and with a separate bedroom for like mom and dad, and then the 2 other beds for the kiddos. I was like, that is perfect on so many levels and so many situations. And the price point where they start at is truly comparable to what at Disney would be a value resort, where you're looking at a very basic, 2 queen bed, basic hotel room. At Disney is this full family suite that was really well thought through. I agree 100% that Dockside was a big win. And
Yeah.
I now recommend to all my clients.
It really is. And the kitchenette in the family rooms too was great. Like, it's got like a whole table and a microwave and a mini fridge. I mean, that's so convenient when you have a bunch of kids with you. So I was like, wow, I would stay here. I know it's like the cheapest resort on property, and it was really impressive. Even the Starbucks. I mean, you had me at Starbucks in the lobby. So
Yeah. I had breakfast. They did have the Starbucks, and that's what I was planning on doing. But I actually went to kind of the food court that was there at the resort, and was able to get coffee and a great kind of light breakfast there while I was waiting to meet up with everybody. And it was really, really well done. Everything at that resort was great, and then also runs buses to Universal all the time. So that is a very convenient, where it can take you right to City Walk, so you're not having to go on the parking deck and go through security and all of that. It drops you off right there at security, and it is a nice perk, even though it is a bus ride, unlike the other resorts. We saw several other resorts. Any others stuck out to you guys while on our resort tour?
Well, the premier hotels, of course, are all just so beautiful, and they have great perks, and they have awesome kids themed suites, which someday, if I get to take my grandkids, I would love to stay in those.
Yep. And so many different varieties of them, from the Jurassic World suites to Minions, even there's at the mid-tier resort has kid suites that aren't themed, but it's still a really great option for families. I love all the versatile options that they give, for sure. There.
Well, and the top tier resort, I mean, the big seller is it's much cheaper to stay there and have the express pass instead of adding it on half the time. So, I mean, I usually price it both ways for people, and they're like, wow, I can get this really, really nice resort and I get express passes. So, I mean, most of the time people go with that instead.
Yeah. I think Hard Rock definitely would be my pick of the premier resorts, just because it's a minute's walk away from the parks. And I like the vibe of Hard Rock. It has that very Spanish Mission, Hotel California feel, with all the rock star amenities, and if you're have kiddos that are like, love live performance, they have like rock star suites and stuff like that. But I do think Portofino is definitely probably the most charming. We all got to have dinner at one of the amazing at Mama Della's there at the Portofino Resort. So you can tell is definitely the premier resort at the Universal Orlando Resort. But Royal Pacific still, even though it's the most affordable top tier resort, I was looking at some videos that I had shot on the grounds, and just beautiful resort, and that kind of signature scent throughout the resort. It's like, okay, this is not just any other hotel. This is definitely an experience when you have that. Lowe's just does such a good job with all of their resorts, and Lowe's manages all of the top tier resorts at Universal. So if you've ever, I know Lowe's does a lot of the big European destinations, many beautiful resorts out in California. They are also managing these top 3 resorts at Universal, and you can tell that they bring all of their experience in, because it's like, man, I wish I could have this nice jasmine smell when I walk in anywhere, but it's
the impressive staircases at each one.
Yes.
The signature staircase. Yeah.
Yes, I want a signature staircase for sure. For sure. Any other thoughts from the resorts that I'm missing on our resort tours? With there's definitely we've covered the gamut from very affordable family options to the top tier resorts, and there's many in between. We got to see an Aventura with very modern, high tech, kind of mid tier resort. So many, but there are so many options, and definitely worth processing. So definitely reach out to Jackie and Susan, and they can take you through all the different categories and find what works for you and your season, for sure. So good. Any other final thoughts on our time in Universal? It makes me want to go back. I'm kind of sad we're not going this year. I'm taking my family finally. It's my kids' first trip since our agency is going to be in Disneyland this year. I was like, okay, this year, the Christian family, we're going to go down. And Jackie, I saw how much fun your kids had while y'all were there. And I was like, okay, I have a 5-year-old and a going to be 8-year-old, and they're just tall enough to where they can do most of the rides now, and it's kind of that next tier up from Disney, and I know we're going to have it's going to be fun letting them experience things for the first time.
I always say Disney is magical, but Universal is epic. That's how I usually describe them.
No, definitely Susan, final thoughts?
And Brad, I think you could touch on the Halloween Horror Nights. I didn't get to experience it, but I know you did, and it's the time to book now.
That is true. That is true. Yeah. So I mentioned my friends who were in town with me. So after our dinner at Mama Della's, everybody, all my other travel agent friends, they went back to the safety and nice warm resorts. Susan, did y'all stay at Aventura? Where did y'all stay?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Y'all were at Aventura with that nice modern resort. So y'all went back to the nice, comfortable hotels. And I was like, I've got to experience, because for years and years, for the past 10 years, I had kept hearing about this Halloween Horror Nights event at Universal Orlando. And if you're a Disney person and you've done Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, there's a reason why it's called Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, because it's definitely totally different at Universal Orlando. They have all of your favorite horror movies or horror series, and they bring it to life right in the middle of the park. It's definitely the premier horror event in the country is there at the Universal Orlando Resort. It's a separately ticketed event, and Jackie and Susan both, even though they were chickens and didn't want to go with me, that's totally okay. They wanted to see if I made it back the next day is what it was. But we can definitely help you get tickets arranged, accommodations. There's some special packages that are available that us and our special team at Universal Orlando can help set up a amazing unforgettable for sure Halloween experience there at the parks, and it's definitely PG-13, but once you get into it, you realize the fun and the excitement that it is, and definitely on the spooky side, but still an unforgettable night, and that goes beyond just haunted houses. There's shows and scare zones and so much more. So that was definitely a experience unlike any other. So I don't know. Maybe next time we'll just go as an agency group and get what they call an RIP tour, where you have a private guide that takes you through all the haunted houses back door and skip the lines and stuff. So we'll have the agency do that next time. Susan's like, I don't think so. I
don't even know if I could handle it. I mean, I like Halloween, but
yeah, it's a little.
I was pleasantly surprised to see that you didn't. You came back alive, and the evil clown didn't get you because he was a scary dude.
Oh yeah. It's amazing, the lore, and it's its own thing and its own kind of community around where they have both like things from like Netflix and Stranger Things and The House on Haunted Hill, but they also have all these original properties that have passed down over the past 30 years of Jack the Clown and things that Jackie was talking about, and y'all got to see a little bit. That was a fun part of the VIP tours. They did take us back to one of the sound stages and kind of let us see a facade and kind of a lights on version, which was fascinating because I was like, this is what it looks like with the lights on. But definitely is unforgettable. But for whatever you're looking for at Universal Orlando, if it's the ultimate Harry Potter experience at the Wizarding World, definitely talk to Jackie and Susan about it, because there are some interesting things with Universal with ticketing and how you have to go between the different parks and stuff. And then I think the packages for Harry Potter are a must do if that's what you're looking to do. Don't just buy tickets off a website. Definitely talk to your travel advisor about it. Or if you're looking for even a resort experience, we didn't even touch on Volcano Bay and the more relaxing experiences of Universal Orlando. Reach out and we can update you, because it's I don't know if you guys are seeing this, but I've had some clients who used to do Disney for like 5 days and then would tack on a day at Universal Orlando. For some clients, it's actually switching. And this back in February, I had clients that stayed at Universal Orlando and then went and did Disney for a day or two. And I was like, I can see that, because definitely, when your kids are getting older, it can be both ways. And they both experience really fun and unforgettable times. So, Susan, Jackie, so good catching up with you guys. Thank you for, hanging out. And I'm hoping
thanks for having us on, Brad.
Get back down soon. So reach out, capturethemagicvacations.com, and we will love to help you out. Have a great night, guys. We'll see y'all later.
Bye.
Thanks, Brad.
Bye.